So Cyberpunk 2077 is coming this week. There's a lot of hype surrounding this game. A lot of people are excited about it. And can you blame them? It looks amazing. CD Projekt Red is a pretty good company. They treat fans pretty good. And there's a lot of excitement in the air. However, every time a game like this comes out and fans love it, it would seem that games journalists don't want fans to enjoy it. In fact, they kind of take a offensive position and usually attack the game, unless it's something like The Last of Us. Then that game is an amazing, stunning masterpiece. And if you don't like it, well, you're an istophobe. I'm surprised that they haven't been calling fans of this game toxic or anything yet. Well, I take that back. They have been. There was this article released a few days ago that I'm not going to go over. I'm just going to talk about it briefly. It sucks that Cyberpunk 2077's edgelord marketing works so well. CD Projekt Red sure has got everybody talking about this game. The main thing that they've been mad about is that stupid Mix-It poster, which they just have not let go. They've been so butthurt about that dumb poster, which if you don't know what it is, that's the girl in the corner. I don't know if I can show that picture, so I'll just describe it. She basically has a gigantic member that is standing tall in the poster, and they don't like that. They consider it phobic, and they wanted CD Projekt Red to come out and bend the knee and lick their boots, and I don't think they really did that, so of course they're never going to let it go. The hate for this game from games journalists really reminds me of Ghost of Tsushima. Remember that? Remember, because that game came out right around the same time as Last of Us 2. You can't have that. Can't have a game that fans actually like come out. That's a bit of a problem. So they went after it pretty hard. They called it racist and all kinds of stuff because of the way it depicted Mongols. And even though if you look into the history of what happened there, they were pretty brutal to the people in Japan. So they have a history of doing this, because how dare a game be well received during Last of Us 2's time? So they naturally went after it. Now we have this. This is going to get big clips just by hating on it, because they know people are going to be like outraged and they're going to go, why are you talking crap about Cyberpunk? It's to help their dying brand for sure. Kotaku desperately needs it because, like I said, and I'm always going to point this out, Kotaku has over $1 million in salary, and I don't know how the hell they make that money back. This is, of course, Polygon. I would imagine Polygon is also in the Games Journalist Union or whatever it is that they call it. So they probably have a very large salary as well. I don't know how Polygon stays in business. Who the hell goes to Polygon or Kotaku for real gaming news? Then, of course, we have the people over at Forbes mad again that they didn't get a review code. They didn't get one. So they whine about that shit. Say, so far, code distribution seems a little scattered for this game. I obviously can't speak for every outlet, and I feel confident that some people have probably had a bit more time with it. But I have yet to receive a code, and I know a lot of other people are likely in the same boat. Whining once again that they didn't get free access to a game. Sorry, Forbes. Remember, they've done this before. They didn't get a code for the game, and they whined. I think it was for The Last of Us 2. They didn't get a code. They had to go buy it with company money. Oh, boo-hoo. Then, of course, my personal favorite, ResetEra. They've been whining about this game for months. So much so, in fact, that ResetEra Takes 2.0 has been able to dedicate a meltdown thread to them. They've been banning people left and right who defend the game. They are so butthurt about this game. I think it's fantastic. I hope this game sells beautifully. And this is still building today. So as the game gets closer, I expect a massive meltdown from them. Remember they got pissed about game sales? There was an outlet that was selling the game at a discount. They got mad because it was the outlet itself. And then somebody said they bought it and they banned them. ResetEra. And then finally, as of yesterday, Kotaku just doesn't understand the hype of Cyberpunk 2077. They just don't get it. How is this game so popular? I don't understand this. I don't get it. How are you a games journalist and you don't understand the hype? How do you not understand the community that you work in? How do you not understand the culture that you work in? Like, do you not know who CD Projekt Red is? I mean, I think you do because you've been dragging them through the mud all year, unsuccessfully. Here's how this title should be. We've trashed this game for a year and people still want it. I don't get it. That Nathan Grayson should be the title of your article. We don't get it. We're games journalists. Why don't the peasants listen to us? Why don't they listen to us? They don't respect our opinion anymore. 'Cause we're garbage. I'm sorry that no one respects you. That nobody cares about you, Kotaku. A whole article one. I just don't get the hype. I don't understand how the game's selling so good. What's going on here? In less than a week, everybody in Cyberpunk Future Year 2020 will be playing Cyberpunk 2077. Or at least that's the impression I get based on the fact that it's all anybody is talking about. Such is the nature of the hype surrounding the robo-armed role-playing sensation. Hardly anybody has played it yet, but they are certain that it's going to be a life-changing experience. On this week's episode of Split Screen, we discuss the uglier sides of the gaming community that the Cyberpunk 2077 reality distortion field has brought out, as well as the often disastrous history of hype in the gaming industry. So they just don't get it. But listen to this. Here's the real hypocrisy. Ash here says, at first, I kind of succumbed to the Cyberpunk hype a little bit because they got Keanu Reeves and the "you are breathtaking" thing with him. He's just a nice guy, and he's real pretty to look at. Excuse me? Excuse me? How is that okay? Now imagine if it had been a female, okay? If you had a guy and it was saying a female character, she's so nice and she's real pretty to look at. Do you know the outrage that would be surrounded by that? You would have every art. How dare that's sexist? When did that flip? And I've talked about this before. When has it been okay to sexualize men? Like, that's okay. We can do that. But if you say a woman looks good or she's hot, that's a problem. Everyone's going to freak out. You're not allowed to acknowledge a beautiful woman anymore. That's a terrible thing. I guess maybe it makes the unattractive ones feel bad. I'm not sure. But it's a huge joke. And it's such a big double standard. But they go on to say the crunch. They talk about the crunch because, oh no, people had to work hard. Oh my goodness. And if you say something bad about it, they'll bring pitchforks to your house. No. When you call the game racist and sexist, yeah, people are going to get a little mad. Because that's pretty much all you guys do now is say a game is istophobic or something, and you bring the pitchforks out for it. It's like right here, how did every single person greenlight that? Racist. It's right there in this. Like everything is istophobic with these people. But I just found this article funny purely because, once again, they just don't understand the hype. They trash Witcher 3. Like, oh my God, Witcher 3 wasn't even out yet, but there was a strong following for that game. Probably because CD Projekt Red makes solid games. So people are giving them a bit of a benefit of the doubt because of the fact that the company has a good track record, and they're excited because this game looks pretty fantastic. It's a really cool looking game, and it's got a lot of stuff that I don't think people have seen in a long time. So naturally, there's big hype for it. But of course, we can't have that. We should be talking about The Last of Us 2. It's Christmas. Don't you istophobes want to play that? Don't you want to play as Manly Abby in her gigantic arms? That's what you should be hyped about. Play that game again, bigot. Hate these people, man. I just how do they have this? And these people make a lot of money to sit here and just trash on a game that everybody wants. Like, obviously somebody's propping up Kotaku. Obviously somebody's propping up Polygon, because most gamers don't want to read about how bad a game that they're hyped about is. Like, they don't want to read about how Cyberpunk 2077 is trash. Like, they want to read fair coverage about it and find out how it's going to be, you know? So, these games journals, I'm going to be so happy when Kotaku and Polygon inevitably close. It is going to happen for sure, because you can't just keep dumping money into a company like that. Eventually, something's got to give. So I'd imagine Kotaku and Polygon will eventually close. Next year, I think it's a high possibility that we'll see that happen. That's a prediction I'm making, that next year Polygon and Kotaku will close. I think finally the wallet's going to close on them, and the day that happens, it's going to be such a beautiful day. We'll have meltdowns on ResetEra, and all of the games journalists will be crying on Twitter. We'll get days of content out of it. It'll be a fantastic time. I'm really looking forward to it. But anyway, this is kind of the story as it is now. Cyberpunk being attacked left and right. I'm really looking forward to the reviews. I have a strong suspicion that when the embargo lifts and they can start dropping their reviews for this game, they're going to give it a low score. And the user score, because don't forget, we can't have early user scores anymore. When those finally drop, the scores are going to be through the roof. It's going to be a Ghost of Tsushima example. Even though they didn't review bomb Ghost of Tsushima, they did suspiciously make sure that score stayed much lower than their perfect scores for The Last of Us Part 2, which was far from a perfect game, by the way. Even if you take out like the garbage story and woke elements, and you look at the gameplay itself, it's not a 10. Okay, the game had bad AI and a couple of other things. So let's just be real here. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. I'd like to hear what your guys' thoughts are on all this. What do you think of Games Journal? What do you think about Cyberpunk? Are you hyped for it? Are you not hyped for it? Let me know your thoughts. Also, if you would like and share the video, make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I will see all of you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.